Melissa, and welcome back to Gals Can Too. So, as you know, this channel is just kind of showing things that girls can do as well as men, as good, if not better. No offense, men, but you know, gals can too. Anyway, so today we're tackling, see my 2011 Chevy Silverado. So the sensor, in fact, the Stabilitrak and all those sensors have been going crazy, but there's nothing actually wrong with the traction or anything. What it is a nice little sensor that sits just on the steering column. And so we're gonna do a quick, easy way. Well, I don't know about easy, but it's gonna be a quicker way of taking that sensor off and changing it without actually dismantling the entire column. So, got the duct tape. Everybody needs duct tape. Anyway, we'll show you what this is for and the rest of the technique here in just a second. So, keep in mind, folks, I've never done this particular job before, but, you know, it's mechanics. Boom. Drop the mic. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so next thing is taking this bar off right here, and it's got 2 bolts on both sides. See? So now that that piece is out, we have let's see if we can get in there with this camera in the way here. Right here is the sensor, so you want to disconnect that. I'm going to remove these bolts here to drop this bracket. In the background, I'm mowing, but I have bolts there and another one up there. It's hard to get this camera in there, and then I have to separate those 2 bolts there, and so we can pull this control arm out just enough to wiggle that out. So sorry I can't do it and hold the camera, but we'll kind of walk you through the steps as best we can. All right, be back soon. Hey guys, like every other video I shoot, I get into the job, no matter what it is, and I get going and I forget to videotape half of it. So this time around I'm doing this little recap. So I'm going to show you step by step what I did, and at least you'll have that. So here we start with the duct tape, and you're going to want to duct tape this to hold this nice and solid so that it doesn't spin or twist when you get it apart, because then your buttons and switches here may stop working, and that's like a whole other can of worms. So first we duct tape. So all nice and taped. And I know some of you are saying duct tape, that's going to be sticky and messy, but cleaning this stuff off is way cheaper and much easier than, you know, rewiring and fixing it after it twists. So saves time and energy. So the next thing you want to do is head to the battery terminal and disconnect that. So let's do it. Alright, so first we move this little boot out of the way, and we're going to disconnect right here, which is or should be a 10mm. So we just kind of do that little jobby. And so anyway, we get this nice and loose, and we'll actually remove it completely. You don't want to leave it on there because you don't want to risk any chance of a electric current or something going through. So pop this off. Easier said than done today, apparently. Who wants to fight with me? So pop it off and scoot it completely out of the way so it doesn't slip back on and fall. So the next step is coming and removing this. This particular one will just pop off, pop, and exposes that. So then we move this little doozy out of the way. And this one here, we'll have to take off as well. So this, let's see if we can get up there and show you. We have 1 screw and another screw. You also have right up in here, you can see that little bolt. I believe it's a 10mm. Just Gonna undo those and take that off. So once you get the bolt and the screws undone, you should be able to just pop that off. It might give you a little bit of trouble, but it should just pop. There's a couple little clamps under here, so I might need 2 hands for it. We'll see. It should pop right off. Wiggle, wiggle. So yes, as we dropped the phone, popped it off. There you have it. So we'll set that aside. Then you see the big old cluster. So the first thing you have to do in order to get access is there's this like bar here. Bar is like support for whatever, maybe an accident or something. So you have your bolts right there, and your bolts back there. I believe it's 15 millimeter. We'll take those off and then we'll show you the next steps. Alright, so the bolts are off, so we'll just pop that out. A little slight correction is that the was a 10 millimeter socket, so not the 15. Not that it matters much, because you already have that on hand, right? So there we have it. Okay, so your next step is to remove, let's see if I can get a good shot. You got 1, 2, let's see, 3 up here, and 1 on the other side. 15 millimeters, you have to drop that to drop the steering column. You also disconnect your sensor, which is sitting right there. Disconnect it, move it out the way. And so I'm not going to go through the whole process again, but just so you know, you drop that, and then you come back here, and you see where this joins. You want to take this bolt, which one's 13 and one's a 15, and you loosen that, and then you separate that from the column. And then from there, you, whoops, don't forget to pull out that little thing, because that just gets right in the way. Funny how that works. Okay, so you see your sensor here. Let me get my other hand in here so we can point. So this is your sensor. So you have to slide it down here, but you can't because you have this shield. But once you drop this unit, you actually twist it towards you, and there's 3 star bits. I want to say they're T15s, but not 100% sure. I can't remember, but you know, have some star bits handy. And then you drop this unit so that you have access, and this pops out, and you just squeeze and wiggle your way down, and then you put the new sensor on. You reattach this here, then you reattach your protector there, and then you basically hold it right up there nice and tight. When you drop this down, you have 2 little black spacers that go back up in here after. Not exactly sure. I think they help to like kind of tilt the wheel. I'm not 100% sure what they're for, but they're there for a reason, so we just put them back. So anyway, that's pretty much it. The one thing I want to remind you guys of, the sensor here, when it comes, it has a pin in it. Do not remove that pin. Keeps it nice and lined up so that it slides on here. Once you hear it pop into place here, the pin would be right here, and you can pop that off. My particular one has a lid, like a cover that goes over it, so the sensor's actually inside here. But some of them don't, so when you slide it, you'll see the pin sticking out there, and you can pop it out once it's locked into place. But again, make sure you don't remove the pin until it's locked into place.